Good morning, Spirit Sessions fans. Glad to see you today. Come on in, one and all. Heart it up, like it up, share it out, because you know at the end, Bex Marie is going to be telling you who's won from sharing it out last week and what they're going to win next week. It'll be with Rhonda, right? A session with Rhonda. So share it out, like it up. So, what do you think of light language? I personally am thrilled by it. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue and I want to draw it. I want to do it, but I can't get it out yet. So I go on YouTube and I listen to other people who can do it. And today I want you all to meet Lightstar. Lightstar, I found her on YouTube. She's got the most amazing videos. She does the most amazing artwork. I just love listening to her and learning, and it makes me feel so good inside. So welcome, Lightstar.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It is my pleasure to have been here, and just you lovely ladies. You guys are such a joy and such a pleasure, as I can feel all of your lights, so bright here. And I appreciate being on here.
Awesome. So we want to tell the audience that also she speaks like 20 to 25 light language tongues, right?
Yeah, it's really more like I literally have at least 125 in my energy field. But because we're
awesome.
in a 3D type of energy here, and I'm in a bodysuit here, I can't pull down that many at this time. It's slowly, coming. So I'd say about 20 is what is kind of up so far. And yeah, it's really amazing how they really have developed and dumped into my energy field, and in really some ways dumped in. Like there was a weird period of about 2 weeks where I at least got like 7 languages that were all coming all at once in the shower while I was trying to sleep at the worst times possible. And yet it was just coming like rain, and I would have to like go to record it because I knew that if I didn't, it would be gone. I wouldn't remember at the time because it was so confusing in some ways. But I was getting a ginormous download and upgrade at that time, energetically speaking. And so and more have come. But I have always been speaking about one of them since I was 9 years old. That's the very, very first one. And I didn't know at the time that it was light language or what it was. I just knew it was language that was not English or French or German or any kind of language that was here on the planet. But I just kind of kept that to myself. So as a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people that actually speak these languages when they're really young, and yet they don't know that's what it is until way later in life. So yeah.
Yeah, my mom would get after me for it. Go out there and do it. I don't want to hear none of that. And so eventually I gave up. It's like, okay, it must be gibberish, like they say and stuff. So when these downloads are coming into you, are you like feeling them or seeing them or hearing?
Yeah,
how does?
Very interesting in this, how they were coming in, and it's different with every language. And what happened with me is I started to get so many of them, and they were coming through just, my voice, and then sometimes there were tones, and I'd sit there for a while. I took about 2 years of integration to try to figure out where they're coming from, because they were all different, and I wanted to know where they're coming from and why there are so many of them, and what the energy was. And so what I also noticed, how they come through sometimes will be, some of them came through where I would actually see syllables in my head. It was weird. And this happens with one in particular language that even to this day has to go really slow. And I see these syllables coming into my stream, like literally, it's like reading syllables in a visual screen. And then some of them just start welling up, from the heart. Like it just comes literally out of the heart. And then some of them are, a little different, where it feels, and I always say they're all really from the heart. The language is from the heart, but there are some that actually come a little bit more from in the mind, like I said, with syllables that kind of play in there. and then some come from more of the body sense, and some of them are just in the etheric energy around it. But when I do language for a group of people, especially live group of people, I notice a huge opening that before I am about to do light language, my energy field opens so much wider, and I feel these rush of almost like the tingles down the spine.
Oh, yeah.
Or for me, I get it a lot around my shoulders. For some reason, it comes in this area. And it just, because what's happening is that when I'm doing one-on-one, it definitely opens up for people too. But when I'm in a large group, that means there's a lot that people need. There's a lot of people that are either going to be watching or in that room. And they all need to get some of this, because I'm kind of like the tuning fork. That's the vessel in me, just kind of goes around. The energy comes through of the languages, and it reverberates out through me to whatever someone else needs or want, what they're ready for. And so it's different for everybody. So it can and I feel like that tuning fork. I'm literally in the tuning fork. I can just feel my body just with the waves. And so everybody is experiencing something, and it's different for everyone. Because I can literally have 4 people in the same room, one speaking one language, and all 4 people will get a different interpretation of what was said or what was meant. Sometimes it's similar, but that is different usually for everybody in a lot of ways. So that's why I stopped doing a lot of interpretation, only because, so I will give an overall sometimes, but generally speaking, it's going to be up to you and the next person, whatever is meant for them. Sometimes people don't feel anything from one language, but then you go to the next one and they're like, whoa, so it's different every time and different for everyone, and not the same for, each and every language. It's very different and unique, and it's very interesting. It's fascinating for me.
So is it like an auditory download, would you say? Like when you're speaking to them, that's how they're actually getting it. And it's more than the tones or the pains or whatever, but it's an auditory download?
It's a download that, what I'm really getting, for me, is that I'm not necessarily channeling a specific being that's coming through me, but I will say it has happened. For instance, my dragon language that came through was literally through a specific dragon who came to me in waking conscious state and told me his name, where he's from, what his energy was, what he was doing. And when I did the dragon language, that literally was him coming through and speaking an energy. But typically, if it's from the Pleiades or the, Arcturus or Sirian, it's going to be the collective energy of a council of beings almost. And this council of beings kind of gets together, and the energy transmission is like the energy that they're transmitting for that area, the location, the geographic location, even in space or whatnot, that is emanating that frequency. And that frequency comes down, and that funnel comes through me. So it is auditory, but it comes in through my energy field, my total energy field. And then it can become, that reverberation. So what somebody else is receiving is they might be getting it just in their auditory. They might be actually experiencing all over their body, or feeling certain things in one area of their body. I typically hear people say they have tingles. They feel either heat or cold. It could be either one, depending on what's going on. Sometimes the energy of the languages will come in and it will experience a block, right? Because we do have blocks here on the planet and challenges in our body, or blocked in the chakra or something, and it might feel pressure. So sometimes there's a lot of people that feel pressure, even sometimes in the head. I hear that a lot. And the pressure is mainly trying to get, it's trying to get the energy through, and then there's a blockage there, and it's trying to get through, and it can't. It's sort of hitting a resistance point, and that resistance point causes a little bit of the pressure, and then all you really have to do is just kind of breathe through that. It's like the breath work of kind of, okay, just keep going, and then the energy can kind of go through a little easier. So it's different for everybody in terms of that, but these are some of the general things I do hear from others.
That makes
Oh,
sense. So, because sometimes when I'm listening to you, I feel like it's a collective thing coming through. Other times, I feel like there's a sister behind you talking
Yeah.
to me. And
Yeah.
so you're saying that that's my reception of it coming
Yeah,
through.
because I hear that where, God, I felt like you were just talking to just to me. Like it felt like that. And I'm like, that is the energy of, but that's the beauty of the energy of how it can be dispersed and be so unique for everybody, even though it's coming through as one. Because I'll hear that from people too. You know, when you talk, you're just like, it was just like you were just talking to my soul. And like I was, but yet it's more, everybody's going to be getting a certain experience. I've been told somebody described it as it's an undeniable experience. That's really what the best description of this is. And it's not just to the purpose, there's many different purposes for light language, but it's not really the purpose just to like, oh, let's just play and have, this language come through. There's actually shifts going on inside of your body, inside of your cells, and awakening your DNA as well. So that little by little, and depending on the activation, that it is, like the dragon language is going to be a little different. And that definitely brings through a different frequency for people. But there may be some upgrades or something that is tingling in your body and your DNA that wants to shift. And that's what some of these languages are doing for other people as well.
So
I love that.
Teresa's really excited about the dragon language, and I'm feeling her excitement because she just came into contact with hers. So we might have to touch on that a little
Oh,
bit.
Yeah. When we start doing it, I'd like to hear that. I think I would just die or something. It would be so cool. But before we do that, I want to get into the creative process because, like, look at it, Hilarion behind you. That is so beautiful. And this is what you do. You have this deck of cards. You have these pictures that you make. Tell me how this comes through you, or tell all of us, not
thank
just me.
you. Yeah, the art is really special. I literally opened up to this type of art. I was doing graphic design in a totally different industry, forensic engineering, construction, and
oh, how exciting.
disaster restoration companies.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we've come from a weird corporate industry, and I've worked in software. I mean, all sorts of different things that have nothing to do with this. But when I moved to Sedona is when this art really started to come out, and I had to do it. It was like this is kind of some of my newer stuff is different now because it started to bring in some of the codes and the symbols and the light languages into the art. My initial art was more in the realms of the fairy and the elven and the magical, the angels and the star beings. But now it's kind of like shifted even more refined. So it really started to come through, and it's like you have no choice. You're kind of like, it's like you're the vessel, but I'm like, it's an exciting thing for me when I started to get all this color, obviously with color coming through as the significant sacred color. So having a way to be able to shift people into awakening, even with just colors alone, is a whole therapy in itself. But adding the content of where these beings reside, which was what I was bringing through, like the fairy realms, and I'm bringing through this actual place, this actual location, this actual fairy. So these are literal beings that are coming through in the images. And so, and even in the star people images that I'm creating, it is an actual being. And then when I speak the star language, it's emanating, think of it in that region, like that's a representative or a representative of the council. And then that energy frequency comes through. So typically, like I said, it's either that or it's an actual being that I usually let people know if it is, or if it's just the collective. So, but the frequencies of the art does awaken people, helps them to remember who they are, remember these places, remember the multidimensional sides of who you are, and awaken to them and to activate, okay? Because that's really what I started to realize my energy does, is activate people. That's just what I do. And I'm activating people through the artwork, through the light language, and through, my own, way of just helping people see, perspectives, my wisdom that comes through, because I do a lot of that in session work, is helping people get out of their own way and to see their own purpose, to live your own purpose, and to raise your frequency higher. Because I've been working a lot with people raising the frequency higher, even in session work too. So the creative aspect is a part of my soul. It's just who I am. It's part of me. And the images that come through and the imagery that does come through is from those higher dimensional places. And that's why everybody has such a reaction to it, because it's like, whoa, I remember that place. So many people say, I've been to that place, or I've been to that place in my shamanic journeying, or I've seen that place before. I've been there in the star realms. They know these things. All of you guys recognize it because you've been there. You know it, and it's home. And I'm bringing that piece of home for people that feel so left out here. God, how many people feel like they just want to go home, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Want to be here. We know that, but we have to be here. So when we're here, let's make it a little bit more like home here. And I think that's what the star people are also helping us with, is we don't have to feel so separate.
Yes.
We can bring home here. And that way we don't have to feel like we need to go home so much, because we're making it here. And all of our brothers and sisters, meaning you guys, there's star family up there, and then there's star family right here.
Yes.
So when we start realizing we are the star family, we don't have to go so far to bring it here either.
Did you want to do the share screen thing and show us some of that artwork? Or
sure, let's see if I can. Okay, so let me see if I share the screen, and then you guys tell me if it shows up or when it shows up on the page.
Okay, it's coming.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay.
It's there.
So this is my art page, or just the gallery page. So I'm just going to skim through.
I put your link in there too. I put your link in the comments, so it's all there.
So this is the Galactic and Star Code art section. As this grows, which will be growing, because I'm trying to finish some of the Galactic series, I was just going to highlight one of my newer ones that I just finished. This is Lyra Genesis Activation, and this is this really has to do with the Lyran energies that all of us know. The Lyrans have lost their home, through the wars and all of that, and so this is kind of emulating that their tenacity, that they are also us. Okay, Lyrans are one of the older races in our solar system here that actually are I wanted to call this the progenitors, but I have had a feeling people wouldn't know what that meant, so I call it the Genesis activation, because that's a little more clear. But literally, they are the progenitors. They are us. They are even what I feel the line kind of goes down the Lyrans, the Arcturians, and the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians are the closest to us in terms of that. They're almost like our parents, versus like maybe the upper line, the Arcturians and Lyrans might be our grandparents or our grandparents' parents, that kind of thing. So the lineage is really important. So that one is some of the newer one. Like here's a very powerful one, the Andromeda. This is Andromeda Healing Matrix, and this is very powerful from the Andromeda realms. And I'm just going to go through some of them, because these are some of the newer ones. This is the Arcturus Infinity Mind, and the Arcturians are super powerful in many ways, but one of the ways they come through in this activation is to help clear people's mindset, clearing the mind. With all the scattered thinking that we have, like they're really adept at clearing mind. The monkey mind, the chatter, the scattered thoughts, the confused energies. Very powerful beings. There's so many in here, but obviously I have to show the Pleiadians. Yes. My Pleiades star angel. She's one of the first ones that came through, because I have a very connection to the Pleiades, as many of us do, because most of us have that connection to the Pleiades in some way, shape, or form. And they come really to the high heart. They're into the heart. 7-pointed star here is very significant too, also connecting to the star, the Pleiades, the seven sisters.
Yeah,
So
Star
there's some
Mothers.
significance in there as well. And each one has its own encodement with the language and the symbols. So that's why this is a specific kind of series that I've been doing. And we all know, well, I don't know if you guys all know, but this is Ashtar and Athena from the Galactic
Neat.
Federation. And this is,
Never heard
not
of them.
too many people know what Athena looks like, because that was kind of the first one, but I don't even know anybody that's done any of Athena, but we all see the connection between the Ashtar, because the Ashtar picture is relatively worldwide. But this was an image where he came in a little bit younger than what you normally see him as, and he likes that, so I see it's the younger version of him. And then we have this is interesting, the Cassiopeia inspiration. Cassiopeia is very, very unique, not as well known or not as well seen kind of beings, but they're very powerful in the creative life that we do, and they help with a lot of creative people as well. And they're very much into, they have a connection to the floral, the fauna, the energies of flowers for some reason. Definitely
Neat.
picking that up with them. So they're really a beautiful race. And we have, Orion. Okay, this is a little bit of the stronger energy that comes through.
Ooh, neat.
Orion, magical creation. And a lot of times people, might look at this and go, well, he looks like the Lord Sith or something from Star Wars, the dark Sith. And I'm like, it's kind of funny because they do have this energy frequency of not darkness, but intensity. And they were actually sideswiped by the reptilians for their purpose. A lot of them did defect and do that and go into the dark side. But there was a lot of what I call the original Orions, who they looked intense, but they had this purity and this energy of like the Druids. They were the original Druids that came here.
Oh, neat.
So this is where the intensity this comes from, and they were the warriors and the Time Lords and all of that. So that was why that one comes a little bit stronger. And then this is the Telos crystal avatar, very connected to the crystal energies. So a lot of people that like crystal energy love that. It was like really powerful with the crystalline base. And so these are just some, I'm showing you all those because those are really important to show. We have the whole Alliance team here, which for those who really this is the,
neat.
Beautiful.
showing the angelic,
Wow.
the starseed, and the elemental all tied into one. So,
Wow.
I
Now,
love doing images like
how do you get these? Like, if I wanted to purchase one, now I know
you can go on to this page, which is my art. Actually, my Lightstar's art page. It's right here on my art page. Now you can pick which one you want because you would need to know the actual name of them. But then if you just clicked on buy prints now or shop now, you'll get a whole, there's different ways you can get photo prints, you can get metal prints, you can get photo mounted to gator board or fleece blankets of these images. So that's how you get
I like that.
You can click on that. And then it will take you to where, for you to choose what you want. And there's but you would just need to go through here first just to get the name, because it goes on, I've sectioned them out, but you just need the name of the image when you go to purchase, because that's where you need. So,
that's simple.
it just goes on with my multidimensional.
Oh, there's a dragon.
Oh, yeah, you wanted to see so this is Valion the Wisdom Keeper.
Hey, you.
This is silver dragon that came through very specifically, and his name is Valion, and he works with people works a lot with people that deal with crystal skulls, is why there's crystal skull energy in here. And he brings in a lot of wisdom from who he is and from the ages, and he works a lot with people stepping into the wisdom, like to harness the wisdom, to put people together with their crystal skulls to that kind of energy. Really interesting what he shared. I have a video on my YouTube channel that's got that and a dragon activation, so you can learn more about how he came through. And so, there's just all sorts of goodness on here. We get the unicorns, people like unicorns.
Yeah.
There's and then all the visionary and magical art, which section has all of my Oracle deck. So the Oracle deck images are mostly going to be coming from this section, which is so there's like 44 images.
Your new deck or your other deck?
The current deck, which is Magical Dimensions Oracle cards, is going to mainly be coming from the Visionary and Art section, because that was kind of the art that I did at the time. And then up here, as you get it, some of them are in there, like this is in there, Harmonic Resolutions in the deck. There's a few that are in the deck, but primarily up here, this is all the new art. This one's actually in the deck, though. We do have Ashtar and Athena in the deck. So, yeah, the new deck, if I get to that, we'll have all the new art in it. The other stuff, like I said, is down here. And there's a few that have the codes in them. And there will be 7 chakra cards in the deck as well. And that falls in line with the chakra series down here, but without the people in them, because I took them out to put so it wouldn't be so specific. And then just the chakra cards in the deck. So that's kind of the art.
Amazing.
Page. Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
That's
everything
so
within you is
wonderful.
so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm going to, I guess I'll stop sharing so it will stop. Okay.
And we're getting close to our time.
I know we're getting close. So how do we have you do a language for us? Do we let the audience pick, or will you give me a dragon?
We've got a few minutes. We got a few minutes, so
yeah, we can do it.
Quick. Yeah.
Let me okay. I'm just gonna bring through the Pleiades, because I feel like the heart space is really the thing that's gonna, I think, help people the most right now is what I'm getting. So again, everybody just close their eyes and just kind of take a breathe, a nice deep breath in, and just listen from the heart. Milaya Kalei Tula Kahila Nanai Mamasia Kal Emia Dele Ale Alme Kelehi Nashai Vensai Homaki Ven Uloro Mai Nadela Ulasin Ulea Kakeo Mai Sohuro Huron Alma Shuuri Oturia Kayana Uleaso umali iwian, uela ke uma eleshi shialea, uian alimi usotaya mai, uel nial ale, uleasule, nasume akele, ale halakem, ulasia la antialai, le suele antialai, ulayantoya asuya maya, Vere ala kalehine, usuria kaime, utiara nera, kalehanai, uasuma. And just take a deep breath in, allowing that energy to kind of just do what it wants to do in your body, releasing, loving, receiving. I'm just going to do another one real quick while we're on this, just this roll here. This is actually going to be a little bit more on the activating side. I'm going to bring through some Syrian energy, because this is going to help people to activate their path, okay? So just again, stay in that space. Veknak, le akal, neste ak meshte vekenak, sukulak kal anestik. Beshte kakalek, sok ulak amit, santakesh sanki epestenel, lakinek, shantak, lasantami, kek, suk ulak, wishia kante galak entusak, mestu ukulak, lusia kal akale ekeshishiantak, gem sokai ke lekan toku beshe. Vesieke kuhumak la metik vista kil akashimik atek kulakan atasmik. Everybody breathe in, and actually breathe in through the throat area. I was clearing some of the people here that are either here on this and also will be listening to this. Clearing a bit of the throat chakra to just any blockage that you might have from speaking out, speaking your truth, speaking forward, and speaking from the divine as well. So just hope everybody enjoys that. I don't want to take up too much time because I don't know the time.
No,
So
it's beautiful, beautiful. Just, yeah, it was awesome. Everybody's just blown
Thank you
away
so
by you.
much.
Yeah.
thank you. Gosh, I really appreciate the time. I wish if we had more time, maybe I can come on a different time and do some more. But
That'd be
definitely,
fun.
yeah,
We would love you on again.
got 1,000,000 of them, right?
Right.
Maybe I will someday have 1,000,000. I can imagine that, but I'll continue to
Amazing.
let it flow as new ones come forth as well.
So I
So
put
all the
your
love
links
that
in
you
the,
bring to us, I want to send back to you and to them. Can we do that?
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
So appreciate you guys. I love what you guys are doing, bringing all of us on here so we can light up this world, right?
yeah,
Yes,
that's what it's
let's
all
Light up
do
the
about.
it.
darkness. That's awesome.
That's right. Lighting the
And
candles here
so
and there.
the link, look up the link that Rhonda's putting in there, everyone, and let's go find her. And I'm going to go look up and listen to that dragon one.
Yeah,
Because I like to
sorry, we
binge
didn't
on your
get to
stuff.
doing that. But go to my
Yeah.
Yeah,
YouTube channel and you can look at, I have a playlist of all the light language activations and a
right.
playlist and you can go and find it. It's very awesome.
So
Yeah.
very good.
Awesome.
Good.
And Bex,
Shelley
you want
says
to give
she's
us the
sending her
announcements?
energy too.
Oh, thank you,
Awesome.
Shelley. Yes. Right back to all those peoples. I love them all. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right, so announcements. So the winner from sharing it out last week that won a mini reading with me is Gemma Louise. So Gemma, I will be contacting you and scheduling your reading, and congratulations. Whoever shares out the most this week will win a short Healing Through Your Records session with Rhonda. So share it out. So, it's a priceless session that you could have and you really enjoy. After this at 1 p.m. is the Nourishing Your Multidimensional Body with Kathy Homeyer, and that's 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then this evening we have the Cosmic Ascension Report with Janelle Cameron, and that is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And if you really enjoy the show and the other shows in the Academy, I invite you to like the Academy, the Akashic Academy page. There's endless sources of information to help you on your ascension process and your spiritual awakening. We're all here as a support group, and if you're interested in going even a little bit further, for $11.11 a month, you can join the inside group of the Akashic Academy, which offers you new moon and full moon ceremonies as well as intuitive classes. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the Academy and we'll help you find your way. So thank you so much for being here, Lightstar. This has been amazing, and I really appreciate you sharing your gifts with us. And thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure and my honor.
Very much. Blessings, everyone.
Namaste.
Yes, have a blessed week. Thank you all for coming.
Bye, everybody.